We're back, it's the GTN Show and welcome. Today we're going to be talking about racing. I mean, how exciting is that? There's a big event coming up and there's also been a very fast running race that has just happened. Then Mark's going to be bringing you a whole lot of tech news, some race news and sharing your photos, and then it'll be back to me for Caption Comp. I think it's fair to say that here at GTN we have been chomping at the bit to see some racing, and I don't think we're alone on this one. Well, I have some good news because there is a race, and guess what? It's not a virtual race, it's going to be a real race with real athletes. I mean, this is quite exciting, held in just a few weeks' time, set for the 29th of August. It's going to be Challenge Davos in the highest town in Europe, in Switzerland, and there is a stellar lineup of world-class athletes who, I guess, are desperate to race. We've got the likes of Christian Blumenfeld, Sebastian Kienle, Peter Himmerich, Andy Dreitz, maybe David McNamee if he can get there with the travel restrictions, Ronnie Schildknecht, Jan van Berkel on the men's side. And then on the women's side, we've got Daniela Reef, Imogen Simmons, Laura Philipp, Fenella Langridge, Nina Deron, and so on. I don't know about you, but we are pretty excited. So let's hope that Challenge put on a great feed so we can sit back, relax, and, well, get excited about watching some real life racing. Meanwhile, we did have some pretty exciting racing unfolding under our noses here in the UK. It was the Podium 5K in Lancashire, which maybe it doesn't sound like anything special, but my goodness, there were some special athletes there from the world of triathlon and elite running. We had the likes of Jonathan Brownlee, Ben Dykstra, Alex Yee, Beth Potter, and obviously a selection of top level athletes. We saw the British record get broken, and we saw an incredible time posted by Alex Yee. He clocked 13:26 for 5K, which gives an average per kilometre of 2:41. And yes, he's not bad at swimming or cycling either, so I think he could certainly be one to watch. With the Olympics being postponed by a year, it could really play into the hands for Alex Yee. But some other top performances as well. Ben Dykstra came home in a time of 13:44, Jonathan Brownlee 13:46, Grant Sheldon a few seconds behind that, and then Beth Potter actually won the women's race, so beat the elite runners, and she clocked a time of 15:24. And it wasn't just last night that's seen some incredibly fast running from triathletes. Obviously, lockdown has given them something to focus on or change the focus, and running seems to have come out rather well from that. We saw the Norwegians posting some incredibly quick 5 and 10K times. I think it was Christian Blumenfeld clocked a 13:51. Richard Murray down in South Africa, he did a 13:37 when he went out to try and get his personal best. And we saw the Salzberg brothers posting equally fast times, a 14:15 for Florian and a 14:26 for Andrea. So with this extended year, I think next year when Tokyo, fingers crossed, goes ahead, we will see some fireworks when it comes to that final run of the Olympic triathlon. It is brilliant to see so many of the ITU athletes running super speedy at the moment, and it would be awesome to see them racing in World Cups. But sadly, there's been a couple more that have just been cancelled. The World Cup that was due to be held in Tishuvaris and the one in Tongyang have been cancelled. There's still some due to go ahead in September and October. We've got World Triathlon Hamburg, Montreal and Bermuda that are still scheduled. So fingers crossed we will get to see those guys racing rather soon. In other race news, on a more positive note, we have a date for the World Championships for the 70.3 that are due to be held in Taupo. Now, you probably remember we mentioned that they got cancelled, obviously, from having been moved. They are now going to be in 2022, which we knew, but it's going to be over the weekend of December the 10th and 11th. So a little bit later than previously when they were due for 2021, but great that there's actually a date in the diary. So hopefully we can all look forward to that.
All right, I'm Jobii back in here with the tech news, and I have got a ton of tech for you this week. First off, we have a new smart trainer, or at least an update on an existing smart trainer, because we have the 5th generation Kicker from Wahoo, their most advanced today. This comes with their new Kicker Axis feet, which offers 5 degrees lateral movement, which is meant to reduce fatigue, but also allows you to customize it to your own personal preference, but also to get that real outdoor feel, that side-to-side movement, which could be really good when perhaps you're climbing in-game, in Zwift perhaps, and you just want to sort of sway the bike from side to side as you get up out of the saddle, or perhaps going for that sprint finish in a race maybe. It is actually coming standard with this new kicker, but can also be bought separately as an accessory for previous models of the kicker too. So if you do have an old kicker, you can still enjoy this new feature. Now this new kicker has the ability to go over 2,200 watts in resistance. It is accurate to plus or minus 1%. Also can be auto calibrated and is compatible with the kicker climb. It is currently retailing at £999.99 as previously was, and came out just yesterday, so go check it out now. And moving on, a partner of our channel has just announced their new tyre range, and it's not from a brand you may have expected. It comes from Enve. They now have a 25, 27, 29 and 31mm tyre option. Now, as many of you will know, optimizing a wheel's aerodynamics does not simply come down to the rim profile. It actually comes down to the tyre on that wheel as well, and how that airflow goes around the tyre and the rim profile. In fact, in recent years, some of Enve's designs and rim profiles have largely been dictated by current trends in tyres and those that are popular. So they've developed their own tyres. So they now have these 25, 27, 29 and 31mm options in tyres that have been developed and designed to work with their SES range and their rim widths, and also obviously compatible with other wheels. Now these will be available from the end of October and retail at around £70 per pair. We also have a ton of updates within Zwift. I'm just going to run through some of the bigger ones for you because there really are quite a lot lately. Now, starting off with a very big one, this is the steering functionality. And this came out last October, was available on Repack Ridge, but it's now available on all roads within Zwift. That means that you can maneuver wherever you like within game. You can take the fastest line around the corner, you can swerve from side to side on the road if you want to, you can perhaps just pick your favorite wheel or a certain person within a pack or within a race. Now, previously, you had to use the companion app on your phone, which would be mounted on your handlebars to steer yourself within game. They had a few issues with that. It would drift for some people because the accelerometers, or the lack of accelerometers in your phone, made that a little bit tricky. So what they're using is the Elite Sturzo Smart Steering Block. Very similar to this. This is the Elite Sturzo steering block, just not the smart one. So with the smart one, obviously you can connect that up to Zwift in game, and the idea is then you can steer yourself around, which is pretty darn cool. Another update is on the meetups. Now, if anyone out there has tried to organize a meetup before and perhaps tried to have a bit of a race in a meetup, I definitely have. You'll know that at the end of that meetup, you won't get any results if you have had a little bit of a race. So one of the updates is they've brought that results functionality into the meetups. They've also just brought in the new specialized tarmac SL7, which many of you know was brought out just a couple of weeks ago. And then finally, we have some big updates with the power-ups. First up, with the feather. Now, anyone that's used the feather before will know that it used to take a standard 9.5 kilograms off your weight. It now takes a percentage off your weight, so it sort of standardizes it for everyone, or kind of makes it slightly more equal. The burrito power-up, which a few people used to complain about was rather useless in races, they've now improved that somewhat. So actually now it disables draft for anyone within a 2.5 meter radius around you. And then we have a new power-up. This one is the Enve, and this actually adds a percentage of weight to you, which might sound really odd, but actually think about that on the downhills. And finally, for the tech news, we discussed around a month or so back a new update and release for Form swimming goggles. Form being the augmented reality display swimming goggles that I have here in my hands. The idea with this update is that you can see your speed, your distance, as well as numerous other metrics in your swimming goggles using augmented reality display whilst you're swimming in the open water. And that has officially landed as available for you to buy now, and these are them here. Now, this update uses Apple smartwatch or some Garmin devices, links up to these goggles, and then it pings that information to your goggles. You can see that in the lens of your goggle as you're swimming. That functionality is going to come out on some other devices in the near future, but genuinely, I think this is a game changer for open water swimming, because ordinarily when you get in the open water, you don't necessarily know how far you've been or accurately how far you've been, or the speed that you're swimming at, other than having to stop and check your watch after. You can see that as you're going. So genuinely, I think this is bringing that specificity that you get in sort of pool swimming into the open water. So I'm very excited to see where these go. I'm hoping that you'll get to see more of these on the channel in the near future. If you're interested, you can head on over to the Form website, and these are retailing around £199. We're now on to the race news, and we are on to Ironman VR18 this week. This time heading over to the Ironman European Championship course, Frankfurt. The athletes had to do a 500-meter swim, a 40-kilometer section of Ironman Frankfurt, and a 3-kilometer run. They do that swim and the run in their own time, and then come on Rouvy to perform that 40-kilometer bike section at the same time. Now on the women's side, it was Katrina Matthews from Great Britain that took the win. Second went to Anne Reichman, third to Caroline Lerida, and then fourth to Lisa Beckeris. On the men's side, it was Denis Chevreau that took the win. Second, Elliot Back. Third, Cyril Vinu, and fourth, Jason West. Well, now I'm going to take a look through some of your photos that you have been sending in to us, and to start off with, we have a very special one. This one is sent in by Frank, and he has got a cat cheetah. In fact, it is fabrication number 134, owned by Frank Mader, and this is in Zurich. Now, if you don't know anything about the cat cheetah, this is a, well, very old bike actually, but absolutely legendary and groundbreaking for its time, really. In fact, it was well ahead of its time. It was designed by Rudy Kurth and became famously ridden by Natasha Badman, who rode to numerous wins, including the Ironman World Championships. It's a monocoque frame design, and if you look at that picture head on, the forks merge into the handlebars. There is no sort of base bar, it's kind of an aero bar, and that's it. A super slick, super fast looking bike, and Frank has actually even gone to the extent of taking some nice photos in a car park for us and ridden it side on with the wall, which looks really cool. I could look at these photos all day, but let's move on now to Jamie. This is his Cervelo P5 in Chattanooga, which is a absolutely beautiful bike. Also the view, but amazing paintwork there, and a nice decals on the wheels to sort of match that wild paintwork. He said he's sad to see there won't be any triathlons in 2020, but when racing does return, he'll be ready. And he says happy training to everyone. Then we got Maxwell. He's on his Scott Plasman. He was taking part in the Cotswold Classic Middle Distance Triathlon, which is just down the road from us here. I had no idea this was taking place just a couple of weeks ago, but it sounds like it was a great success. They managed to socially distance everyone, and well, Maxwell managed to go under 2 hours 20 on the bike, and he's looking very aero there. And actually, if I zoom in here, I spot that he is wearing a Royal Navy vest there. So yeah, great work, Maxwell. Finally, and a very cool one, this one comes in from Jenny from Cape Town. In fact, I know Jenny Longlegs on Instagram. She managed to do not just a double Everesting, but she managed to bump that up to 20,000 meters of climbing. She spent 27.5 hours climbing out to Zwift, 19 and a bit times. So she said she completed the double in just under 24 hours and decided to just carry on for the 20,000. As you do. Questioned her sanity a couple times. Brutal mental and physical challenge. Spent most of the 27.5 hours watching GTN and Modern Family, and she even said, "Your next challenge, Mark." I think I'm done with those long challenges, but I've got to say hats off to you on that one. That is absolutely amazing.
All right, I'm back with Caption competition, and we had this rather strong look here across the finish line, taking the clock back a little bit when it comes to triathlon racing and with outfits, I think it's fair to say. Anyway, you guys haven't disappointed. I've got a selection of your Caption suggestions. So Anna Campano to start us off. When you find out that the race for which you've trained for months is not cancelled. Oh, imagine that. Alex O'Neill, in at number 1, way of making it easy to spot your finishing photo. Strike a pose. Yeah, that's going to some extreme, isn't it? Then Morton, Ironman did Gangnam Style way before Psy. Yeah, I like that. They wouldn't have had a clue what we're on about back then, would they? Anyway, our winner this week is Emma Walker. Congratulations to Emma. She came up with the caption, "Those dance moves really crossed the line." And I like the fact she even put a backup caption suggestion of, I think it was "those Speedos really crossed the line." And yeah, I'd agree with both. But well done, Emma. Get in touch and we will get a cap sent out to you. Now, I don't know about you guys where you are, if you are in the Northern Hemisphere, but here in the UK, we've been having a bit of a heat wave. I know, it's quite unbelievable, isn't it? So I thought this picture was rather appropriate for someone trying to cool off. Yeah, do leave your suggestions below this. You know what to do. Oh, what I would do for a bucket of water over my head right now. Well, hopefully you guys aren't too hot wherever you are. But anyway, I've digressed. Do leave your caption suggestions in the comments section below. And that rounds us up for this week's show. There's still a lot to look forward to, though. We've got our next in the series of the Couch to 5K, where I'm coaching Pippa on her 5K journey. We've hit a sort of, not quite a wobble, but yeah, we're halfway and things are getting exciting for that one. So do keep an eye out for that. We've also got coming up a cat and mouse race on Zwift. Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch that one to find out more. And in other news, if you like a bit of tropical vibe and you're enjoying summer at the moment, even if it's a staycation, we have some great news for you because we've got some brand new t-shirts in stock. They're so new that we as presenters haven't even got our hands on them. So I'm super excited to get to wear one of those hopefully next week. But do check out the GTN shop. The link will be on screen. You can go and order yourself one of those t-shirts. And that's it for today. Give us a like and hit the globe to subscribe. And a couple of videos you might like to take a look at. It's a bit of a versus theme here. Aero bars versus riding on the drops, a bit of an experiment I did. You can find that just down here. And we've got another one on road versus trail running. That got the debate going. It's just here.